We are preparing and explaining daily. It's crucial for teachers. Students shouldn't say, I don't understand. Direct them to the course info button. Course updates are vital for teachers. Any info you want to share with students should be communicated. They should check course news weekly. Inform them the midterm is the week after next. Remind them to check activities and solve them. Weekly messages are necessary. Some students haven't logged in during the first or second week. Notify them to log in. Highlight their names for communication. Send them questions and updates. Course updates are crucial. Train them to check updates for any question. They'll find all the information. Check course news weekly. Tell him midterm is the week after next. Say check and solve activities. Send a message weekly. Some students haven't logged in, like those absent in the first or second week. Notify them to log in. Highlight names for communication. Send questions and update. Course updates are crucial. Train them to check updates for questions. They'll find everything. Today, we'll discuss content in detail. Created by an expert. Recommended by the institution. The first 2 units will be available from the semester's start, making all content accessible. Some students haven't logged in. For example, there are students who didn't log in during the first week or the second week. You need to notify them that there are students who haven't logged in and they must log in. You can even highlight their names so that they can communicate with them and know about them. You should send them the question and everything. Course updates are very important. You want to train them from the beginning that for anything they have questions about, they should check the course updates. They will know everything. The content is that course material is created by an expert, recommended by the institution. Units 1 and 2 will have content available from semester start, accessible to students. Students should know their interaction. Depends on personal effort. For example, one student might finish Unit 1 in a week. Another might finish 2 units based on effort. Effort determines completion. As a teacher, I will introduce a new unit weekly. Focus on the teacher's role regarding content. It's crucial to today's session. I want this point clear. The student also knows that his dealing with the text depends on his personal effort. That is, the student might say to you, I can finish the first unit in the first week and the second unit no. I might finish 2 units in the first week according to my own effort. I might finish 3 according to my own effort. That is all. The student's effort depends on me. As for me, as a teacher, I enter in a specific order and I enter every week to explain a unit. Focus with me on the teacher's role regarding the content. It's a key aspect of today's session. Dr. Mustafa, let's discuss content. The content mechanism is designed comfortably for students and staff. The mechanism is a 1-hour weekly session per college schedule. Times may vary like 5, 6, or 8, 9 with Ramadan delays. It might be 10, 11, or 9, 10 at night. That's your hour. Dr. Mustafa, let's talk about the content. The content mechanism is designed in a nice and easy way. How does it work? The teacher teaches 1 hour weekly. Whether from 5 to 6 or 8 to 9, it may be scheduled from 9 to 10 p.m. Organize your scheduled hour. For instance, if I start the first hour, I explain Unit 1 online with the student present. If your course is 3 hours, hold another virtual class without the student. They are no longer from 5 to 6. They are no longer from 8 to 9. They are no longer from 10. And Ramadan will be a little bit late. Ramadan will be a little bit late in the hours, meaning they could all be at 10 to 11 at night. 12 like this, meaning from 9 at night to 10 at night, you can start like this. Okay, your time. The one you are assigned to enter, you organize yourself. I swear, I am inside the first hour. I will start explaining the unit, the first one. I will start explaining online with the student, and the student is present with me at this hour. Okay? How many hours is your assignment? Your assignment is 3 hours. Let's assume your assignment is 3 hours. So if you are required to do another virtual class, but the student is no longer present with you, at any time from Sunday to Saturday, you can record it, and before Saturday evening, you should record the second 2 hours. You can either do it in one lecture or split it into 2 parts. There's no problem. So you'll have 1 lecture online and 1 recorded lecture. The best way to arrange your recording in virtual classes is to start the online lecture at the week's beginning, knowing your schedule. Create a session and start it. For instance, say, this is my lecture on Monday. If your lecture is Monday, record it Tuesday or Wednesday. Name it recorded lecture. Focus here. Add guest access and specify the college's date and time. Say the date is the 12th today, 5 to 6 p.m. Always say from 5 p.m. and add 10 minutes. So around 6:15, just in case. This is about scheduling. Focus on this part. On Monday, the online lecture will be held. So this is your online lecture for Monday. The recorded lecture will be done on Tuesday or Wednesday, and you will name it recorded lecture. Okay? Now, focus with me here. When you set this up, you need to add guest access and then specify the date and time that the college has given you. Let's assume, for example, the date is the 12th. The date is today, the 12th, from 5 to 6 p.m. So you always say from 5 p.m. and try to add 10 minutes. Just in case of any circumstances, so it could be around 6:15, okay? This is regarding scheduling. Now, focus with me on this part. How many weeks will this session be repeated? It will be repeated till the beginning of Ramadan. After Ramadan, it will change. There's something called session repetition. This session will be repeated weekly. Here you have weekly repetition. How many times? 2 weeks or 3? Of course, that's not possible. So you can do that for 2 weeks. For example, we won't continue for a week. We'll say it's a week. Or because we are in the circumstances of Ramadan and the start of Ramadan, we will hold the session as scheduled. But before Monday, the session should be restricted. All right, I won't take this repetition topic anymore because we are not doing it. That you will hold a session tomorrow, for example. On Monday, so I'm holding the session on Monday, 13th, and I'm doing it so that when the student comes on Monday, they will find the session available. His session is available, and you can also set up the session for next week. If it's still far from Ramadan, you can hold a session next week as well. You can do the same process, have an online lecture on Monday, for example, and then have another lecture. You create a second session like that. And schedule, for example, a lecture on Monday as well. So you know, it's the same name, like Monday online lecture. So when the student comes, they know which lecture is online and which one is recorded. I'd say, for example, the Monday after that, which is, let's say, the 20th, that's not during Ramadan, just so you know. I just keep the same time and other details. Anyway, I don't want to take too long, so I'll also set up the second session. It's better to set up those 2 sessions for the beginning of Ramadan ahead of time so that the students are available as soon as Ramadan starts. During Ramadan, for example, you might have 3 weeks or so, and you can also schedule a Ramadan session based on the Ramadan timetable. If you don't get the Ramadan schedule, just stick with those 2 sessions for now. When the benefit of Ramadan comes to you, you will know that your new battle's old. The important thing is that your sessions are available on your page before the week starts or before you start with the students. I don't know if I should consider the 2 sessions as a state because I entered one of the chain stations. All right. So, what's the method here, everyone? It's about the session. What's the session? It's the online session between you and your students. Okay? You want to register now. You want to record the second session where the students aren't present. So, when you come to record, you need to create a session. For example, I'm sitting here at 10 p.m. and I want to create a session today. I need to create the session first. I do something really good. I go to the virtual classroom button and click on the arrow next to it, and I say, hide the link. Why? Because I don't want the students to join while I'm recording. There's always a chance that a student might enter while I'm recording, and they could disrupt me or ask why I'm recording. So I hide that button from the student's page, but it's still visible on my page as a teacher. I create the session according to the time, like a recorded lecture in the first week. Why? So that the students don't join while I'm recording. There's always a chance that a student might enter while I'm recording, and they could disrupt me or ask why I'm recording. So I hide that button from the student's page, but it's still visible on my page as a teacher. I create the session according to the time, like a recorded lecture in the first week. As a teacher, I have the time adjusted on the student's page, and I create a session based on the time, like a recorded lecture in the first week. I can actually set the time right now. Let me give you an example.